Hello, people of the internet. It is I, Gabriel890, back again with another video. Alright, so I've had a random flurry of pickups recently, and I felt like it was enough to justify a video, so let's get into it. So starting us off, my first playable unsealed copy of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. So I was able to get it on the Wii many years ago, sealed. But that was the problem, was it was sealed. Like, I got it for $45 and at the time was going for about 90. And so I was like, well, I don't want to open it. Like, I was not expecting to win the auction, but I did. So anyways, put it on the shelf, didn't open it. But then the problem with that is the longer you wait, well then the less it makes sense to open it. But then, a couple years later, they came out with Xenoblade Chronicles for the 3DS. The new 3DS XL, to be exact. And I picked it up. And it was one of those where I definitely had plans to try it out, but I just never opened it. And then a couple years passed, and it's like, well, I might as well just keep it sealed now. But now I own 2 copies of a game that I would like to try, but they're sealed. Now, I know I can open them. Maybe I'm being a little ridiculous here. But anyways, it paid off. Because now I got the definitive edition for $30, and I can finally play the game. So yeah, there's that. And then thrift store, we got Facebreaker for $2. And then I was also able to get Call of Duty Black Ops 3 for $3. So it's definitely going to do that. And then also, on clearance for $3 was this beautiful steelbook case for Borderlands 3. Which I own the game, but I did not have the steelbook. But for $3, I couldn't say no. And now here is an interesting one. It'll be interesting to see where it goes too. But if you pre-ordered Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion a long time ago, then you got a free steelbook. This one in particular. But they ran out of steelbooks even before the game released. So it got to a point where even if you pre-ordered it, you didn't get a steelbook. And then I guess apparently at launch, there was even some people that their order said they were supposed to get a steelbook, but Best Buy just, there wasn't enough made or there wasn't enough ordered. I don't know what happened, but there wasn't enough. And so, yeah, there was a lot of very unhappy people, and they were all searching for this steelbook. Well, usually with my luck, any item that's kind of like sought after at GameStop or Best Buy, Walmart, or there'll be like a crazy clearance deal or something like that. Like, it's never in stock for me or nearby. But in this case, it was. It showed that there was 1 copy of the steelbook left at my local Best Buy. And so I was like, I don't know, but let's find out. So I drove down there and I said, hey, it says that you have 1. And they went and checked and they said, yeah, here you go. And so I didn't know if I was going to have to buy the game to get the steelbook, which, I mean, I have all intents and purposes of playing this game. I love the remake, but I was just in the middle of God of War and other things, and so I was like, well, I don't want to pay full price for a game that I am not going to be able to get around to for a while. And so I go up to the register, and I was like, let's see, if this just rings up. And sure enough, it did. So $10 later, I was able to walk out with this steelbook. So yeah, I was definitely feeling really good that day. Really happy to get it. Okay, now here is a Facebook Marketplace pickup. We got 3 games. We got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, Black Ops 4, and Destiny 2. And I was mostly interested in picking up Modern Warfare again, because I actually picked it up at launch, played the campaign, and then sold it with the intent of, hey, maybe I'll pick it up down the road when it's like dirt cheap. And so $12 for all 3, $4 individually. Yeah, I was okay with that. So I went and picked it up, and I open up Modern Warfare, and I was surprised to see this advertisement in it, because I was like, I don't usually see advertisements for, movies, let alone like 4K movies in games. But whatever. And so I pull it out, and behind it is a digital copy for the movie Baby Driver, which I was like, I'm always going to test a code, always try it. And sure enough, it worked. And so I got a free copy of Baby Driver. Definitely a first. And I hope it's not the last. But yeah, it was just like so random, but so awesome. Okay, now I have a mini rant. Okay, I got to get it out here. Why does Facebook Marketplace have to be such a hassle for selling, but also buying? Like, I feel like that there's these deals that I come across where I'm like, hey, I'm interested. I will pay your asking price. And it's still a hassle to like figure a time, a place, and sometimes they just like don't ever message back. Apparently they don't use Facebook or they just forgot about their listings. I don't know. But there was this big lot and they said, prices, message for prices. Usually that's not a good sign. Usually it means they want like eBay prices. But I was looking for God of War Saga for the PS3, which is God of War 1, 2, 3, and then also Chains of Olympus and Ghosts of Sparta. But those are digital, so it's going to be hard pressed to find one where those haven't been used. But I already have a physical copy, so whatever. And so anyways, I messaged them and I'm like, hey, I would be interested in God of War Saga and this other game. What would you do? And they're like, $35. And I was like, yes, that is a great deal. Because since Ragnarok came out, all the God of War games have gone up, some more than others. Some are still pretty cheap. But for some reason, God of War Saga is going for like $50, $60, sometimes $70 right now. And so I was like, dang it. Like, I think it should go back down. I hope it does, because for quite a while it was like $20. So it's pretty ridiculous. But anyways, I wanted it because I love God of War, and the cover art is just absolutely incredible. And yeah, I don't know. I needed it on my shelf. And so anyways, they say 35, and I said, okay, great. Could I get some pictures? And they're like, it's in good shape. I'm not at home right now. And I said, okay, well, whenever you get a chance. So I wait like 5-6 hours. I'm just like, hey, any updates? They see the message, don't respond. Okay, that's kind of weird. So I wait like the whole rest of the next day. And then finally at the very end, I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll take the games. Just send me the invoice, I guess. I don't think it's that big of a deal to ask for some pictures of the items you're buying, but apparently it's too much of a hassle. But then again, they see the message and just don't reply. So I'm like, either me asking for pictures was too much, or maybe they looked up the values of God of War Saga and were like, oh. And then they couldn't just like be upfront about it. I don't know. But anyways, I'm like, hey, if that's how you do business, then I don't want to deal with you. And then, I kid you not, like an hour later, this lot pops up on Facebook Marketplace locally, so no shipping. And it's $30 for 15 games, and I had to pick it up. Okay, and I'll show you why. So I'll go through them real quick because most of them I already have. We got The Last of Us, Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, Ghosts, Black Ops 3, Battlefield 3, Assassin's Creed 2, Shadow of Mordor, Arkham City, Madden 12, NBA 2K15, and NBA 2K14. And then we had FIFA 12, and then a disc-only copy of FIFA 14. And then, you guessed it, God of War Saga. Like, I didn't even haggle or anything because I've had very bad luck where if I say, hey, are you splitting the lot, or what would be your price for this, then, I don't know, there tends to be dollar signs in their eyes, and then the price goes up, up, up. So I was just like, I'll just take the lot, and they were happy to get rid of them. And I was happy to have this in my hands that night instead of having to wait for it to be shipped to me. Oh, but, let's just get a nice close-up of the cover art. A little ridiculous being a collector sometimes. Okay, now I have a really good friend of mine who has contributed to my collection in so many ways. Like anytime that I get a deal from him, like it is a deal. And it's ridiculous because he's the only person I've ever dealt with where I'll make an offer and then he's always like, "Oh, no, 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 it's got to be lower than that." And I'm like, "No, that's an insane deal right there." But like he's just the type of person where he won't do it. So anyways, he was trying to get rid of the rest of his PS3 collection. He's had a bunch of random games, and so we went to a couple pawn shops to see what they would offer. But they're pawn shops, so they offered like $1 per game, and he's like, no, I don't want to do that. And so there was a couple where I was like, hey, I'd be interested in these. We could figure out what the going rate is, and I'll give you that. And he's like, I just want to be done with it. So you buy me dinner, and then I'll give you the games. And I was like, dude, that's way less than $1 per game. Like, I'm not doing that. And he's like, nope, it's already done. Buy me dinner. The games are yours. And I was like, well, I'll buy you dinner. And then I bought him a smoothie. So that made it better, right? So anyways, got all these games for dinner and a smoothie. We got disc only of Killzone 2 and 3 and Dishonored. And then we got The Last of Us Remastered. Okay, and then we have Uncharted 2 and 3. Metal Gear Solid 4. Resistance 1, 2, and 3. And then Infamous 1 and 2. And then we have Little Big Planet. And PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Modern Warfare 2. Another copy of Battlefield 3. And then we have Batman, Arkham Asylum, City, and Origins. And then we have Crysis 3. Resident Evil 5. Tomb Raider. And then Assassin's Creed 3 and 4. And then for good measure, we have some 360 games. Gears of War 2, and Halo Wars. So, yeah, that was really generous of him, really amazing, and I was obviously blown away by that and really excited. Okay, and the same can be said for this very random pickup of the Wii Zapper and 4 Wiimote backings. And then there was a couple other random accessories, but they were like the third party, like junk. And then actually some AV cables, all for $5. And so I did not have this to play, what is it, Link's Crossbow Challenge. I can't remember the title right now, but yeah. Anyways, I could finally play it the correct way. And always nice to have some extra backings for your Wiimotes. In case you ever have a fit of rage and, things go wrong. I don't know. Okay, and then last but not least, I'm obviously in a PS3 mood. But one of my original PS3 controllers has been going haywire. Buttons going all over the place, being pressed when they're not being pressed, all that stuff. And saw these two bad boys, $15 for 2. And I was like, yes, always good to have backups, especially when one of them is on the fritz. So yeah, anyways, that is my random pickup video. Definitely some interesting ones. I guess just never give up, because even when one deal doesn't work, you might find an even better one. So yeah, let me know. What's the weirdest thing you've ever found in one of your pickups, whether it was in the game case or I don't know, whatever. But as always, thanks for watching and have a good one.